What is up guys, Taiki here, and in this video I want to discuss the upcoming launch of Tranquil Finance and its effect on the Harmony ecosystem and its native token 1. So if you like the content, please like and subscribe and leave a comment in the comment section below. So let's get started. Disclaimer, none of this is financial advice. Okay, so in this era of L1 season, right, rotation from Luna, Phantom, Solana, Avalanche, and now Harmony entering price discovery, I think it's a good time to start talking about it. And I do think that, Harmony is deserving of this markup because relative to other L1s, I still think it is undervalued. And I guess whenever I talk about these rotations, I kind of look at the relative valuations, with other L1s. For example, I often use Thesis as a benchmark, right? Like when I rotated into Phantom, I'm like how is Phantom valued less than Thesis, right? Of course it's going to flip Thesis because it's Thesis. So, and obviously Phantom is above 50% of the valuation of the Thesis. And Harmony sitting at roughly in the mid 50s at $3.5 billion is still, $2 billion under Thesis, right? And I do expect Harmony to flip Thesis. I don't know when, but in sometime in the future. So the reason I bring up Harmony right now is because they have a key catalyst coming on the 31st of October with the launch of Tranquil Finance, the first money market on Harmony. Right, this is Tranquil Finance, feel free to follow them. They're available on the testnet, but they're going to launch the 31st. So I argue that, right, if you've been following my channel, you know that I'm a huge money markets guy, and I argue that money markets are the most important DeFi primitive for any ecosystem. In fact, my trading and rotation strategy for 2021 has been super simple and, super profitable too. And that is, I see a money market, I ape, right? I see a trusted money market, and I ape, right? And that strategy has paid off huge dividends for the past, 6 months or so. This is the Michael Saylor mentality where, he just sees the future. With Matic, right? I guess my channel gained traction in Q2 of 2021 when I was just farming on Matic, right? And the reason I farmed on Matic was because, hey, Aave launched April 14th. I'm like, okay, I see a money market, I see a trusted money market, I ape, and bam, right? April 14th, bam, just goes up. Avalanche, right? I rotate into Avalanche in roughly mid-August, right? And the reason was because Avalanche launched a $3 million liquidity mining incentive with Benki, the first money market on Avalanche, and bam, it just went up. Lastly, Phantom, right? The reason I rotated from Avalanche to Phantom was because, Geist Finance launched October 5th. And this was a trusted money market. I'm like, okay, I see the money market, I ape, and bam, it just went up, right? So it's a pretty simple strategy. It's worked. I don't know how long it's gonna. I don't know how long it's gonna keep working, but so far, 3 for 3, it keeps working. So I'm gonna assume that if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So money markets are bullish, and this strategy has been profitable. So let's kind of think about why this actually works. And this goes back to my humble farmer thesis, which I came out with in July of 2021. And anyone that's been following this humble farmer thesis has essentially outperformed the markets for entirety of Q3 and Q4, for so far at least. So the humble farmer thesis says that a good farming ecosystem needs two things: an AMM with a good liquidity in the farm, right? So I guess requirement one is easy to fulfill because anyone can fork Uniswap and deploy it on any ecosystem. The second, a trusted and reliable money market is needed, right? And the money market aspect is super important for a couple of reasons. Because money markets allow you to leverage major assets as a liquidity source. For example, Aave on Matic and Avalanche, and maybe Tranquil on Harmony, and Geist on Phantom. Also, money markets allow you to short an asset to hedge against potential market volatility, right? For example, if you wanted to short AVAX, you can borrow AVAX, sell it in the open market, hoping to buy back lower, right? It just gives you more flexibility with your portfolio, with your assets, etc. Because of this flexibility, money markets creates more sticky liquidity that boosts the TVL of the ecosystem. And in this type of market, if a TVL of the ecosystem goes up, then everyone's like, oh my god, it's undervalued, I buy. This is a really simple mentality. And also whales and institutions can more easily manage their portfolio there. Because not everyone wants to sell their Bitcoin in ETH, right? Not everyone wants to, sell their Bitcoin in ETH, take, incur a taxable event in order to farm into a new ecosystem. However, if you can bridge your Bitcoin in ETH, use it as collateral, borrow stablecoins against it, and farm with those stablecoins, it's more tax efficient. You're not really, you're not selling an asset that you're bullish on, and that's essentially what I've been doing for the entirety of this year, right? Money markets are bullish ecosystems generally. And part 2 of the humble farmer thesis says that yield farms follow TVL, not the other way around, right? And I argue that money markets lead to TVL, and higher TVL leads to more applications and more farms, right? And no one's going to build a farm in an ecosystem with no liquidity, right? So you need a money market to launch in order for liquidity to come, and you need the liquidity to come for more applications to be built and for farms to be built. And back in July, right, in this video, I was kind of bearish Phantom, right, because they had no money market. And obviously, when the narrative changes, right, when Geist comes, I'm like, okay, like the narrative changes, I need to deploy the Phantom, right? This is the bullish moment that Phantom needed. Keep in mind, I mean, of course, obviously, like in July, like the price of Phantom was like 30 cents. I bought at like $1.30. So you can argue that, hey, like I was wrong. But I'm not like too interested in catching bottoms. I'm just more interested in capturing momentum shifts in the markets and catching the meat of the move in those trends. And the question that we have to ask ourselves is, will the same happen for Harmony? Not Farmony, but Harmony. Has the market caught on? Is the market still going to keep allowing us to do this, right? Do we just buy these tokens before a money market launches and just see our net worths explode? I'm simply not sure. And in terms of conviction level, I'm less bullish Harmony than I am on Avalanche and Phantom, right? And in terms of sizing, portfolio sizing, I'm like deploying way less capital into Harmony ecosystem than I did on like the Avalanche and the Phantom ecosystem for a couple of reasons. So, I mean, first of all, you can argue that like the pump has already happened, right? It's already being priced in. The market is becoming more efficient. The humble farmer thesis, the market has actually caught on, like people are actually catching on to the fact that money markets are bullish, and you can argue that, hey, maybe like most of the pump has already happened. It's being priced in. Also, Tranquil isn't officially supported by the Harmony team. They received a $50,000 grant based off of like milestones. But I mean, $50,000 grant, I mean, like what is that, right? Like Aave on Matic got $40 million. Avalanche got $3 million. Sorry, Benki on Avalanche got $3 million. And Aave on Avalanche, I believe, got $20 million. And Geist Finance was backed by one of the co-founders of the Phantom ecosystem. So, there were already like incentives to begin with, and people were able to, I guess, ape more comfortably. Also, Chainlink is yet to deploy. So these are the two, I guess, word of caution I want to give to you guys, right? So I wouldn't expect the same to happen, and this is the reason why I feel kind of less comfortable, in this Harmony call essentially. Okay, so yeah, Tranquil Finance. Let's talk about Chainlink, right? Because I don't really talk about Chainlink, but I do think it's important. Like most money markets use Chainlink, right, as a price oracle, and with these money markets, you kind of need a good oracle in order to save these protocols from like getting flash loan attacks, exploits, and protect users from liquidations. So I wonder if so Chainlink mainnet. It says that I don't even know what this means at this point. Does this mean that it's gonna launch in November? Or does it mean it got pushed back from November 1st to the 30th? I simply do not know. However, Chainlink was supposed to launch in August, right? The Harmony team said that we're gonna launch in August, and then it just keeps getting delayed, right? I think it's literally been delayed like 5 times. So the odds of it getting delayed again is higher than Chainlink actually being deployed, right? And I've talked to some Harmony developers in the space, right? And they're all working under the assumption that like Chainlink is just not gonna launch anytime soon, right? So for example, Tranquil is gonna use SushiSwap oracles, which should be fine, to be honest. But I'm personally not gonna be less confident deploying capital, right? I'd rather deploy capital in the money market using Chainlink oracles than SushiSwap oracles. And if a pleb like me is feeling uncomfortable, deploying in major size to these money markets, then think about like what the whales are going to do, right? Like I'm sure they're going to feel even less confident about deploying capital into Tranquil Finance. And like I mentioned, like there's just there's all these devs, they're just working under the assumption that Chainlink is never going to deploy because if they're planning. If they're planning their roadmap and timeline, assuming Chainlink is going to be live, then they're always going to be delayed, right? So this is one, I guess, bearish and less bullish argument for Harmony. I still think that it's going to flip Thesis at some point, but if Chainlink keeps getting delayed, then maybe it just takes a longer time, right? Maybe that's what happens. And you might be arguing hey, who cares, right? I mean, Chainlink deploys, does it actually matter? Well, this is just one example, right? You can call this coincidence, but on August 18th, Chainlink price feeds went live on the Phantom mainnet. On August 18th. And if you look at the chart here, that was right there, right? You can argue that Phantom was undervalued to begin with, so it was going to happen regardless. But I'm just sharing you one data point that hey, Chainlink is probably really important for these DeFi ecosystems. So, in conclusion, the 31st of October may be an explosive day for Harmony, or it just might be a disappointment because just capital doesn't really flow in, right? And maybe it's being priced in. Who knows, right? I'm not making any predictions. I'm just simply sharing with you my thoughts and the data. Majority of my Harmony exposure is in DeFi kingdoms, right? So I'll mostly be watching from the sidelines. I know a lot of people that's aping into the one token. I hope you do well. Me personally, I'm just as a farmer, I'm just really comfortable just I guess, gaining exposure into DeFi kingdoms, because, you know, if Harmony does well, DeFi kingdoms will do well. So, you know, I'm not too interested in aping into the one token, but if you are, you know, like, I wish you the best of luck. And, you know, I'll be eating popcorn on the day of on the 31st, and I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. Maybe Tranquil launches, locks up billions of TVL, and everyone's like euphoric, Harmony goes up, or maybe, you know, it doesn't even get to a billion TVL. Or maybe it doesn't even get to, like, you know, 300 million TVL or something, and then everyone's super disappointed. So we'll see what happens, and, you know, let's navigate the markets that way. So if you like the content, please like and subscribe. And if you want to know how I'm navigating the markets, check out the private Discord. Link will be in the description below. Thank you for watching, and have fun farming out there.